everyone, welcome back to SportsKhabri with me, Adi and Rishi. Guys, we're here to discuss Cristiano Ronaldo and controversial statements from the Portugal international once again. Um, yeah, he's always in the news, dude. I don't think there goes a week or two without us speaking about Ronaldo, and he's at it again. I think sometime last week he did an interview with La Sexta, and he said he's the best in the world. To quote the five-time Ballon d'Or winner, I'm the best player in football history. I haven't seen anyone better than me in football history, and I'm saying the truth from my heart. He goes on, I'm talking about numbers. I think I'm the most complete player to have existed. In my opinion, I think it's me. I do everything well in football with my head, free kicks, left foot. I'm fast, I'm strong, he added. One thing is taste. If you like Messi, Pele, Maradona, I understand that and I respect that. But saying Ronaldo isn't complete, I'm the most complete. I haven't seen anybody better than me, and I say it from the heart. First thoughts, Rishi. Let's leave. Let's not get into the fact of whether Ronaldo is the most complete player, whether he's the best player in the world, and all of that right now. Not even in the world. He's in history, as he says. Um, but just to make those statements, what do you think? Like as just as a footballer who's still playing the game and with his sort of um his colleagues, like the guys he kind of played with, Messi, for instance, is still playing the game. Just for him to make those statements, what do you make of it? Like
No, I mean, it kind of
confidence,
shows,
arrogance, what is it?
yeah, like it shows two things. Firstly, confidence that, of course, when you are playing at that highest level, probably one of the greatest ever to play, you need that level of confidence, that you need to have that belief in yourself. But there's a fine line of difference between confidence and arrogance. Like, I don't think many others will just come out and say outright, even if they're having a once in a lifetime moment. I don't think anyone else outright comes and says, "Yeah, I'm the best. There is nobody else." Like, I don't think you need to be banging the drum and saying, "I'm the best. I'm the best." If you are, your work is supposed to say that. Your achievements, your accolades will talk for it more than enough. Like, I'm not saying this to, I don't know, give credit to anyone else, but the actual greats, like the actual greatest players of their sport, I think their merits, their numbers, their achievements talk for it. Like, I don't think any of these, the greatest of all time, they come out and be like, you know what, I'm the best once in 5 months, like to try and reiterate and remind everyone. Like, nobody does that. Like, I think that is just sheer arrogance to begin with.
No, I mean, but we've seen it in a lot of sports. Okay, Adi, like, I mean, we discuss so much cricket. We know how good a player Virat Kohli is, or we know how good a player Sachin Tendulkar has been, or all these greats, right? Like, I've not seen any of them come out in like interviews and gloat about like why they're the best or that they are the best, on and on and on and on. And it's very odd, like when it happens, and especially when Ronaldo does it. I know, like a lot of these guys look up to him. I know Virat does look up to Ronaldo, and yeah, because of his work ethic and all. But just these statements, do you think they're a little off-putting?
I mean, see, I get both perspective. I think from perspective of a player, you always need to think you're the best. Maybe you don't have to come out to the media and say I am the best and things like I'm the greatest of all time. But you look at any player on the when you go on the pitch, the mentality for at least for top players are always like I am the best. And you go into a game or you go into a big game saying, you always hype yourself saying I'm the best player. Like if you are on the top, and if you think you're on the top, of the world, especially in football, you always like, yeah, I'm the best defender, I'm the best midfielder, I'm the best striker, whatever it is. Like you always pump yourself up like that. But the thing is, bringing up names and quoting other people's names, saying I'm better than these guys, that's a bit. I don't know. It's a matter of, do you really need that validation from whom? Like, if you have the validation for yourself, why do you have to come out and tell it for everyone to sit and accept it, or like, applaud you for saying it? You don't need to, right? And then if you want to talk about facts, you're not the best player. You don't have the highest number of Ballon d'Ors. You don't have a World Cup. You don't have the highest number of, let's say, when you're competing against a player like Messi, you only won 2 La Ligas compared to around 8 La Ligas when against, your counterpart. So In what real sense do you think you're the best player? Is it just because of all the goals you scored? I don't think that's the only accountancy you take for being the best player in the world, right? So yeah, I think it's just more of there's an internet conversation where the fans always like who's better. At least in this generation, it's like Messi versus Ronaldo. It's been there forever. At least from what I've been watching football, it's still there till today. But it's just up to the fans. Like you go and look at Messi, I don't think he cares about it. As long as you're satisfied with your own career, with your own achievements, I don't think you really care about what other people think, say, or you don't have to go put it out there to the world saying, I feel like I'm the best, this, that. Like, I just don't think it matters, right?
Yeah, same. I agree. I mean, bro, like, of course, like, kudos to him for like to keep going even at 40, right? He's just turned 40 and he's still going strong and still stands a chance of making it to the 2026 World Cup. But even after all of that, bro, just the fact that he's coming out and he has to say these things and he feels like he has to say these things, it kind of tells me that oh, people actually are have moved past Ronaldo, dude. Like at the end of the day, like he's not in mainstream football unless there's a big international tournament. Nobody's really seeing him, right? Like so, I don't know if he feels like he has to come out and make statements like that to remind people that oh, hey, Ronaldo exists. But Rishi, is he the most important? I mean, sorry, most complete footballer that you have seen, in his own words? Um, also, yeah, there's probably a conversation that some of those Ballon d'Ors Messi didn't deserve, especially the ones, one of those years where Lewandowski won, deserved to win it, supposedly.
That time there was no Ballon d'Or that year
Ballon
you're
d'Or was
talking.
No,
cancelled
no,
that
It's
year.
not
not
yeah,
even
not that year. I think even the year after or the year before,
after
one
that
of
he
those
won
years.
the Ballon d'Or when he won the World Cup. So how
World Cup,
does
yeah.
that doesn't deserve
Yeah, I
you to
mean,
know?
yeah, then fair enough. But like, yeah, there is, I can't remember exactly which ones, but there is sometimes conversation that Messi didn't deserve certain Ballon d'Ors and whatever. So is there a conversation there also?
Bro, I think if you'd say, or if he'd say that he's the most complete goal scorer, then fair enough. You can have that conversation. He, yeah, like what he said, he uses his weak foot. He can score from headers, from tight angles, and he has that clutch mentality where things just happen to click when it when he needs only that half chance to convert. So when you're saying the most complete goal scorer, I think fair enough. Like he's been there and done that in clutch moments. He's like when it looked like all is lost and done, like out of nowhere he comes in with he pulls a rabbit out of the hat. So when that's the conversation, I think he has a very solid ground to say that he is probably the most complete goal scorer in the his like probably in at least our generations what we've seen. But bro, footballer, it's not even it's not even a conversation to be had. Like the kind of things that Messi does on the pitch, like the kind of passes that he finds, the kind of space that he finds himself in, like his dribbles, the way he gets out of tight spaces, his creativity. I think he does things which, like, not just goal scoring perspective, but from everywhere across the pitch, that I feel it's not possible. Even as recent as that World Cup assist that he gave to who's the Argentina right back playing?
Molina.
Molina, yeah.
Yeah, Naval Molina. Yeah, that the angle that was not there. It was a non-existent angle that he just the threaded the ball in. So I think when you compare, I think whenever he drops into midfield, also he plays that midfield role beautifully. So I feel when it comes to the most complete footballer, it's not even close. But when it comes to the most complete goal scorer, I think, yeah, fair enough. He does score a lot of different kinds of goals and different moments also. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the 2021 Ballon d'Or, which Messi won, and it was Lewandowski scored 53 goals in all comps. But yeah, like just moving on, yeah, Ronaldo's taking shots at the Ballon d'Or as well. I think he also said Vinicius had to deserve to win it this year. And what do you think? What do you think about those comments, Adi?
No, I think he was saying something like he thinks Vinicius deserved it, but in
Yeah,
Ballon d'Or, I think he was trying to insinuate that it's kind of rigged and
yeah,
only
yeah.
the narrative wins or something like that. But it doesn't make sense. I mean, is he trying to say his five Ballon d'Ors are worthless? Then, like, it doesn't make you can't play it both ways. You can't say Ballon d'Ors are rigged or it's not really. the best player wins it at the end of the day. When you have won 5 Ballon d'Ors, are you saying those 5 Ballon d'Ors are not deserved at your era? Like, what does that mean? Like, you can't flex your Ballon d'Or and then next minute also put it down when you're not winning it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, I really believe like as a player, if you're a top player, it's not just the attitude of you on the pitch or the way you play, it's also off the pitch. Like you look at the top players in cricket, at least a similar thing. I look at guys like Sachin Tendulkar, Virat. I don't think they are very humble. They don't sit and say, I'm the best batsman in the world. I'm the greatest batsman in the world. Like, even if it's true, they're always humble about it, and they're always like, they don't care about their achievements at the end of the day. In terms of, they don't go gloat it around everyone. It's like, we did what we did and we move on in our lives, right? Again, like, coming to this era, like, saying things like, Vinicius deserves it, but someone else won it. Like, yeah, maybe he deserves it, maybe not. But you being a winner of a Ballon d'Or, you can't really play the play down the worth of it by saying it is kind of rigged, or it is goes through a certain media pressure or something else, like whatever it is. Like, it doesn't make sense for me. Like, you can't just put it out there when you won so much, right? And again, you're trying to disrespect the only award you think. I remember 3 years ago he was saying he wants to be the player with the most number of Ballon d'Ors in the world, right? I think it was an interview with Piers Morgan. And then 3 years later, you're sitting here and throwing shade at the same award. Like, what is the sense of it? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I feel like you're holding grudges, maybe based on whoever achieved more, etc. And it's not needed, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense to like try to big up your own awards and then try to put it down when you're not winning it.
Yeah, and like for me personally, I've never been like the biggest Ronaldo. It's not Ronaldo per se, but I just think I've never been a fan of that ilk of player. I think like this is just me personally. So for me, I've never felt like Ronaldo is the most complete player or he is the best in the world. Or I
Do
think
you
that's
guys
again
feel
that's a
he's the
personal
most
thing.
complete goal scorer though?
Complete goal scorer, complete player, big difference. No, like
Yeah, that's exactly why I asked. Like you mentioned, he's the most complete player. That's why I'm like, what about when it comes to goal scoring?
I mean, but
Does he
I'm
stand a chance
What
there?
is goal scoring?
no,
What
but
do you
the
mean
reason we're
complete
saying
goals?
player is because he said he is the most complete.
Hmm.
I'm not saying he's a most complete. Like the most complete goal scorer conversation only doesn't come because he himself has said that I'm the most complete player. So
I think he
would
said both, but like I think he also said he's the best goal scorer and stuff like that.
no, but yeah, my point is like if he's saying he is the most complete player, like what does that mean? Like if you stick him in midfield, you think Ronaldo could ever do a job like Messi does? I think Messi could play wide. He could play down the middle if he needed to. He could play in midfield if he wanted to, and he would still do a job. Can
Midfield, I don't think
Ronaldo
he
play in
play
midfield
midfield,
and do
but
a job? I don't think so.
see, for me, it's a matter of, are you even the best player in your own teams? Like, you look at, just take the fact of playing in a new league like Saudi. You go to a team like Al Nassr, you're so-called the best player in the world. I think it's not even a matter of winning. Like, I remember when he went to Al Nassr in the first season, they were on top of the table when he joined them. They ended up what, second or third by the end of it.
Yeah,
Next year,
second.
they still failed to win.
Yeah,
You look at this year, they still failed to win.
yeah, they
Now,
won't win
if
this
you
year.
want to use the same argument, I agree that Messi, when he went in the first season, they were literally bottom of the table. And second season, they were the first in the league. Like,
Yeah,
mind you, they didn't
all
win the
play
playoffs.
conference.
It's a different thing when you're playing playoffs, etc. Like,
Yeah,
it's not similar, but
yeah, but they won the conference. Like their
exactly, they
respective.
went from literally bottom of the conference to the top of their own league, which at least shows just a huge difference. And that was within one season. And not only that, bro, like just for example, I used to never know what MLS was basically happening in MLS. I didn't know much about MLS, and I didn't know much about MLS in terms of what used to happen. But since Messi went there, like the amount of craze the Americans got into football, like every away game he went was sold out just for the fact that he's coming. More than the teams didn't come to support their own teams, they just came to watch, Messi, etc. Compare that same thing to Saudi, it's still pretty empty seats whenever you look at Al Nassr games. I recently was watching Al Nassr game, like half the stadium was empty. Like, I'm not going to sit and say that's the only measure for a great player, but if you're the greatest of all time, I think people will be, selling their houses to come and just watch you play at least for once. I
Yeah.
think at least to an extent that has to happen. Like
Mm.
I don't think that ever happens overall. And you're not even putting the factor of things like winning a World Cup, which is the toughest international tournament, if not the toughest tournament to win, which also adds value to you being a great player or the greatest of all time. Look at your number of Ballon d'Ors. Okay, fine. Now you look at the number of La Liga titles when you both competed. That's also a bit iffy. Look at the number of Premier League titles. It's not like he dominated Premier League for the entirety of he was there. First time he came, I think what they won 2 or 3, if I'm not wrong. I think three,
They won three.
We won
three, right?
three.
Out of what fives, maybe two
Six,
were
seven.
Chelsea, I think at that time. And then coming back to Manchester United after playing for Juventus, you saw how that ended. Like I just don't think the greatest of all times have a career like that. Like for me at least, like same thing. You look at Messi, like he went to PSG, he won the league titles there. You can say it's easy to win league titles there, but before the season Messi went, they lost the league title. I think they lost to what Lille, if I'm not
Lead,
wrong,
yeah.
the year before Messi joined, and then Messi came and they won two. I'm not saying directly related to Messi, but obviously you can still lose a League One, for example, right? Then you go same thing in terms of yeah, like Juventus did lose to Inter Milan during those 2 3 years he was there. It was not like he dominated the Serie A also like for the 3 years 4 years he was there. So every league he's gone. It's not like he's been able to conquer the league and just dominate it. Like Messi dominated La Liga for whatever amount of years he was there. It was like what 8 versus 2 La Ligas. That's crazy. That's not even twice.
Ten,
Like it's
ten.
like four
Messi has
times.
10 La Ligas.
Yeah, but like Ronaldo didn't play in all those
Yeah,
10.
yeah,
Like, for example, when you both were
yeah.
going head to head, it was eight
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
what?
eight, yeah, yeah.
8 or 7. I'm not right with those numbers, but it's still a huge difference. And it's not like, and one more thing is like you look at Barcelona's trajectory after they lost Messi, it was downhill. They were playing Europa League for 2 seasons. They lost to Frankfurt. They lost to United. They were struggling financially. They were struggling as an entire team. They lost to Atletico Madrid in that season, the league, I'm
The
saying.
league.
They lost to Real Madrid most of the times. I think the last year was the first season they really competed and won. Same thing, you look at teams like Real Madrid. He left. They've been able to win multiple UCLs. They've been able to win multiple league titles in the same time. It is not like they were not able to replace the Ronaldo. Like I think if you're the
Mm.
greatest of all time, it's almost impossible to replace Ronaldo. But it was never like that for them. But look at Messi. I still think till today they're struggling to replace him. And like the entire club of Barcelona was Messi. It was literally he built the culture. He built the club, in my opinion, because once he left, Barcelona were unrecognizable. Like you couldn't even recognize the club they were. Even though they had great players at a point of time, they still signed a lot of big players. Like they did look different from what Messi was. So I think a lot of factors to add in, and I don't know where it comes from. Saying just because you say you're the best player, maybe it's not. Maybe you score the highest number of goals, but I don't think that's the only thing that matters to be so-called best player in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Rishi, I just wrap it up with this. Like one of the things that Ali said was, I think actually, in a weird way, like I think it tells you how much the player means, or like how well he's doing, which is how long he spends at a particular club. Like, do you think like longevity at like one club kind of determines also how good he is and how valued he is?
Yeah, bro. I mean, definitely. Like if you are the best, if you are like if
Yeah,
you're arguably the
and just
best,
like
you're.
quickly, like I'm not talking about his Manchester United to Madrid move, but
Mhm.
after he did become like the thing at Real Madrid, like the
Even
move to
then, like
Juventus, I'm talking about.
They were still
like
happy to
after
sell
that,
him.
everything. Sorry.
I said they were still happy to sell him at the end of the day. It was not like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
exactly.
desperate to keep him.
No,
And
that's
same
what
thing
I'm
with
saying.
Juventus
That's
also.
what.
Exactly. And Barcelona, the only reason they had to let Messi go was because of their financial situation. If it were up to
Yeah.
them, they would have done everything possible to have him at the club. I think that definitely plays a value. Like when you have a player like Messi who, like Adi said, who and like you said, like who can come in at different positions and do a job, like do a really good job. Like you want him to create, he's a I feel when Messi plays, he's like a much bigger threat. Like because you never know what he's gonna do. Like he's gonna get the ball in the final third. He can either create himself. I mean, create a half chance for himself. He can set up others. He can score by himself. So like there are different aspects. Like I feel that threat was never there with Ronaldo. Like even in his United days, like he was far out wide. His initial United days, he was far out wide, and he was playing almost as a second striker. But it's mainly been about goal scoring. It was not as much about setting the play or like helping the team as such from another perspective. So yeah, like the way things ended, also like I don't think I've ever heard a comment from Messi like slating his coaches or slating, and
Hmm.
he's had some like some dubious coaches like a lot of them weren't of the highest caliber. Like on the other hand, you'll have a lot of comments from Ronaldo saying XYZ about XYZ managers, this that he's
Yeah.
always never unhappy, he's always had something to do with the teammates, this that. I feel all of that is definitely going to add value, like is going to depreciate your value from a club, because you don't want someone who's just going to the media and trash talking or who's downplaying your efforts. Like as a club,
Absolutely.
you need even if things are not rosy, you need as a senior figure like Ronaldo is, you need someone to come in and say like, okay, you know what, things are going well. Like on the other hand, Ten Hag dropped him. Like whether Ten Hag was successful is a different thing. Whether if you have a problem, you're not supposed to go to another person who has clear allegiances to another club and then go and talk negative stuff about the club, about the coach openly while he's still contracted. It's not even like it was his ex club. And even
Yeah.
at Juventus, after that, he had some pending cases with Juventus. And the same thing, like after he left United, he allegedly said he's the best. But how many options did he have? Like at the time, all the football reporters were suggesting that, okay, every time his agent went to a club, the clubs were rejecting him. They wanted nothing to do with him. So all of these, if you are the best, clubs are going to take you in left, right, center. There's not like they're going to snap up. They're going to try and break their wage system, their financial system to come to try and hire you. Like it's not like there's going to be a question for that. So yeah, bro, like
Yep.
if you are that detrimental to a team, of course they're going to try and keep you by
Yeah.
doing everything possible.
I think I'm just going to end it by saying that there is like some consensus in this discussion, unlike most that we have. So yeah, I think not I think none of us are happy with what he said. So I think it's just fair that we end
No,
it
but
that
like,
way.
see,
But
if
yeah,
if he's telling also he's the best player in the world, on what basis? Like, what is the
yeah, yeah.
argument for you to say you're the best?
No, I mean
Like,
that's
He's gonna
what
reach
like
1,000 goals soon,
yeah,
apparently.
he's saying that he has a left foot, he has a right foot, he's fast, strong, whatever. But I mean, he's a great player, one of the greats. Obviously, will go down, but yeah, to come out and say that, bit much. But yeah, we'll just end it with that. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let us know if you were taken aback by what Cristiano Ronaldo said. Do you agree with what he said? Do you think otherwise? Yeah, let us know in the comments. Like and share the videos. Please do subscribe to SportsKhabri, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.